It's called the Mystic Kids Talk, where we talk about sensitive and spiritually gifted children, how to help them find balance, feel grounded, and also be heard. We have several new things coming out this week, and this is just one of them. So today we're going to dive into the topic of crystal children. Now, you may have heard the term, and there's lots of other terms like indigo children, star children, but those are topics for another day. So today we're specifically going to focus on crystal children. Now, crystal children are children that are sensitive to the energies around us, the frequency of the earth, and within our consciousness of our human beings, all the humans on earth, there's been a huge shift in the frequency and the consciousness in the last 25 years. Now, to put this into perspective, think about the last 25 years. Of course, you need to be older than 25 to think about that, or maybe not. Maybe you can think back to your childhood and look at all the things that have changed. Technology has grown extremely in the last 25 years, more so than ever before. We've had so many changes in how we do life. So just to put it in perspective, the iPhone was introduced to the public in 2007. Now, I was born in the 80s, and so I remember life without an iPhone. I remember life without a cell phone. I remember life without a laptop or a computer that was accessible to the average home. Now, I had a computer as a high school student, we had computer class as kids, but it was nothing like it is today. So even though I remember life before iPhones and cell phones, smartphones in general, I still think back and go, wow, that was such a different world. How did we do the things that we do today? Of course, we didn't, right? So that is just to show you the significant change in the last 25 years, which is about the time that people started to notice crystal children, spiritually gifted children who just kind of know things without any reason. They don't have access to, college textbooks with information on the universe, yet they know some of this information just within their being. They are also sensitive to energy. They're usually labeled as an empath or someone who just really struggles to deal with things on a regular basis. Now, this is because they're stuck in between two worlds, the old world and the new world. And the two worlds are very different, and they're trying to navigate both. They're trying to be here now in what we are living in, which is we're kind of still in the old world, but we're embracing some new things. But there's a lot of things that are being undone right now, for lack of a better word. So we're still living in some of the old structures, but we're embracing this newness that is coming forward to the world that we live in today. And these children are already at the level of the new world, or the new consciousness, whatever term you want to use, the shift in the frequency that is already happening. Now, they're already at that level. However, they're still having to navigate this old system. So they're stuck in between these two worlds, trying to fill into it and be a part of it. But it can be difficult. And this is part of what makes them sensitive, or difficulty in doing some things that we consider normal. So let's just talk about some of the gifts of a crystal child. These children are more refined on the vibrational level and are uniquely attuned to energy, to light. If you don't know about light as a scientific level, light holds so much information. The speed of light, we talk about information moving quickly and the speed of light being the fastest moving thing. So light holds a ton of information, and we can harness that light and gather the information from it. So these children are attuned to the energy, to the light, and to crystals. Now, crystals also have energy that is scientifically proven that it can help us with so many different things. So they're attuned to all of these things that we consider kind of woo-woo, or that's not my favorite term, but alternative. Let's use that term. So they're attuned to these things, and their consciousness is more enlightened, and they see, sense, and feel on a heart level. We're used to being in the mind. The old world is logic, 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 and there's nothing wrong with logic. However, combining it with the heart logic is the best thing that we can do. Now, these children are already on a deeper level of the heart, so they've already got that energy flowing through them, and they're tapped into that, and they just know things on a heart level. In fact, there's studies showing that our heart knows things before our brain. If you're not familiar with this study, it's done by the Math Institute, I believe is what it's called. And it's an awesome study about how the heart tells us things before our brain. These children are also more attuned through the use of extrasensory perception. So this is something that we've implemented into our elementary schools and younger kids' daycares, or whatever they're called these days. My children are older, so I'm not sure what the terms are, but I know that they've added extrasensory perception into some of the learning skills, and it is done very well. Now, some other things that crystal children are gifted at are they see and feel their interdimensional reality and live on a spiritual evaluated consciousness. Yes, so what that means is they know that we are bigger than our body, bigger than what we are here on earth. Our energy and consciousness is so much bigger than just this body. We can connect to things beyond our body. We can connect to people across the world through our energy. We are interdimensional beings. And there's so much to that these children just kind of understand. Their minds are more universally and cosmically expanded. They feel a deep connection to nature. They may just know what a tree needs, or feel guided to go to a special area in nature because they're connected to it. They're connected to the earth because the vibration of the earth connects to our bodies and actually to our hearts. So when we connect to nature, we're connecting to deeper levels of our heart and really opening up a higher consciousness within ourselves. Now, these children are also connected into, deeper levels of the heart, as I just mentioned, which brings an enlightened consciousness of love. Not just any kind of love, unconditional love. They've dropped the judgment. They've dropped all the things that we grew up with. If you're older than 30, 35, we grew up in more of a strict environment, or judgment, ridicule, criticism, those types of things. Today, the children do better with love, encouragement, and those sort of things. Now, you may find yourself relating to many of these attributes as aspects of your inner child. Now, I know I was born in the 80s, and this is before the crystal children were labeled crystal children. However, I was very gifted as a child, spiritually gifted for sure, and I did not know how to navigate those gifts. So this definitely speaks to my inner child. Whether I'm a crystal child or not, I still identify with the consciousness of the crystal child and can look at my childhood and see kind of how that fit into who I was back then and how I navigated this. Now, those who relate to these attributes are awakening to their destined evolution. Whether you are a crystal child or not, no matter when you were born, if you resonate with some of the things that I mentioned, you may be awakening to your destined evolution and identifying with this energy. So here's an example of the enlightenment of these children. This is a quote from an 8-year-old child. This is a crystal child, 8 years old. Just before going to bed, this child stated to their parent, "The universe was created out of multiple dimensions. The basic law of universe is creation. Whatever you want to create, the universe will answer." This came out of the mouth of an 8-year-old child. How do they know this? Not even is this true or not, but the language of it, the deepness of this thought is so huge. So they are just connected on a deeper level, as we mentioned, to the frequency, the consciousness, the love evolution that is coming in today and has been for years, of course. Now we can all tap into it, as I mentioned before. So I'd love to know, do you have a crystal child? Do you think you are a crystal child, or you may hold some crystal child gifts, uniqueness from your childhood. If you resonate with any of those things, give me a crystal in the comments. Just type in crystal and I'll know that you resonate with some of the things that I mentioned today. And if you're not already following us on Facebook or TikTok or even YouTube, you can find us on all of those platforms. We are Mystic Meadows Healing. My husband Jeremiah and I own Mystic Meadows Healing, and we are all about talking about spiritual and emotional wellness, really, as if I had to sum it up to a sentence, a phrase, those are mostly the things that we do. Now, I'm Amber, and I'm an intuitive healer and empowerment coach. My husband is a sound healer. He works with the emotional level. He's also an embodiment and mindset coach. He loves to get into the mind and change the perspective to harness the reality that we want to bring into our life, into our body, and actually put our beliefs, our mindset into action. So, we love to provide a place where you can be your true self, where you can stand in your power, and where you can dig into the energetic mysteries of the soul. So until next time, remember, you are enough. The truth lies within you, and there is hope.